Since we've last spoken, Kamala Harris has failed to do a press conference. She's refused to do a sit down interview, but she has picked her running mate. Until 2 weeks ago, I, like most of you, couldn't tell you who Governor Tim Walz is, but now things have changed. I've heard the left try and sell the man as a working class Midwestern father who served in the military and coached football. I've heard the right label him as the soldier that abandoned his unit when he found out they were going into a war zone, and as a man who let Minneapolis burn during the heart of the George Floyd race riots. Regardless of which version of Walz you're getting, I believe his pick, much like the J.D. Vance pick, tells you a lot about the person at the top of the ticket. Each candidate ignored the call to pick a slightly more moderate VP to balance out their ticket in favor of leaning into their own bases. Trump went with the most conservative option on his short list. He went with a young fighter that will attack the media and his opposition in a similar way to Trump himself. Donald Trump chose someone that could steal some of his thunder, as opposed to someone with absolutely no thunder at all, like Doug Burgum. Let's face it, the Donald has a large ego, rightfully so, but many wondered if he'd be willing to share the spotlight, and thankfully he can. Personally, I love the pick because, as long as I can remember, it's been the Republican Party that chooses to try to go, moderate over and over and over again, only for that moderate position to go from marriage is between a man and a woman to marriage can be between three guys and a billy goat. And if you say otherwise, you're a religious bigot. While the Vance pick seems like the bold move by Trump, the Walz pick was equal parts cowardly and equal parts stupid by Harris. She's stupid because typically the strategy for a VP pick would be to select someone from a swing state or from a state that you're looking to get some help from. Ladies and gentlemen, Timmy is from Minnesota, which is a state that last voted for a Republican way back in the year 1972. Minnesota's already a lock. He doesn't need help from Timmy, or she doesn't need help from Timmy. And she's cowardly because she passed up a more moderate choice from a swing state that both candidates are desperately trying to win when she called boss on Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. And we all know why she passed on Shapiro. It's because he don't dig on swine, because he prefers unleavened bread. It's because he said Mazel Tov at his wedding. Yes, she passed him over because he's a Jew. And the radical, pro-Hamas members of the left would not put up with a white Jewish male on their ticket. Look, as I already pointed out, both the Democrats and the Republicans seem to be digging in their heels and forcing the country to pick from two completely versions of this country. I couldn't think of a better way to demonstrate the choice we're about to have than by looking at certain decisions that states have made on how they choose to run their public schools. Louisiana has taken some heat for mandating that the 10 Commandments be on display in all public schools, while Florida has taken heat for removing books like Gender Queer from their elementary school libraries. And on the flip side of things, a state like California has just mandated that teachers are not, I repeat, not required to inform a parent when their student starts going by a different name or pronoun while they're in school. Or a state like Minnesota, where their governor, Timmy, signed into law a requirement for tampons to be distributed in all public school bathrooms, including the boys' rooms. I get that not everyone feels the same way that I do about religion, but this country was founded on the values of the 10 Commandments. And the Bible is the most significant book ever written. So if you're an independent and you're forced to choose one of these two versions of our country, I'd say you need to have your head examined if you think our country is better off in the long run by teaching our children to change their sex and mutilate themselves instead of teaching them that Western civilization and Christianity go hand in hand. And with that being said, I believe it's that time of the day that we welcome in our good friend, Mr. Ric Flair, because it's showtime, baby. Woo!
Showtime! Woo! 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 Woo!